Hey guys. Hello plenty friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Misha and this is my channel where I post all plenty related content. If you're new, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. I love you and I appreciate you and thank you for the support. So today I figure I would do something very simple. All this past week I've had so many plenty chores and I failed to film each one. My brain was elsewhere. And we'll talk about it, but right now I have two Orbifolias that are struggling. They're both struggling. They could be flourishing because I give them plenty of humidity. I end up providing distilled water for them or rainwater, and they're not happy. They're being divas. So I'm going to try to repot both together in sphagnum. Sphagnum, it's amazing for my prayer plants. I have tried it on my Maranthas and Calatheas and it has been successful. So I'm going to try that today and just see what happens. So also I'm going to repot and just provide fresh soil for this Sansevieria, well, Dracaena Black Moon. It hasn't grown much and I've had it for about close to 2 years now, and it has only given me like two new leaves, going on the third one. So I think it's not getting all the nutrients that it needs, so that's gonna be repotted today. So let's just get into it. So today I'm filming and it's Sunday. I've had an interesting week. This week was interesting because Phil and I started seriously looking for another place to live. We both own our individual homes, and we decided that my home doesn't fit our needs and his home doesn't fit our needs. So we're gonna get something together and we're going to let our children, because Phil has a 19-year-old and I have a 20-year-old. So we're going to give our children that responsibility of staying in our homes, looking for roommates, and just kind of start figuring things out, which I think it's something that definitely needs to be done. My son works and begins school again this summer. His son goes to school and right now is looking for a new job. And I just feel like when you have adult children, it's really good to help them find their independence, but at the same time making sure that they're not going to fail. And that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that they are technically renting, but we're understanding that it's not going to be something along the lines for us to make any money off of our children, but instead they're just paying the house. And thankfully our mortgages are very affordable and the kids are going to be able to tackle that easily. And if they need any sort of help or assistance, we're like right there, because again, we're not letting them fail. My daughter, she's coming with us to the new place, and this week we looked at this Saturday, we looked at 6 houses. There were pros and cons on everything, but these roots do not look great. So this things that we're looking for is a house with plenty of lighting. Right now, most of my plants are in, sadly, artificial lighting, and even though they're thriving, it's not ideal for me mentally. So I want them to thrive and in normal lighting. Just have artificial lighting where needed. We're also looking for something that has a massive backyard. I Because I want to build a greenhouse. And then any sort of cuttings or whatever. Ooh, this one's root bound. And any sort of cuttings to just kind of be there. So this one was definitely doing tons better. Which I'm glad. It's hard to find a place like that because seems like every time we find something that we like, it's pending within the hour. So we now have our broker and realtor in line. We have everything that we have to do, the pre-approvals and all that, the bank that we're using. So I'm hoping that it makes things a little easier for us. So we'll see. What did you guys do this weekend? I know that at first we were like so excited in the car, and we took the time to go to this little like festival too, where it was bizarre because we went and it's people that do arts and crafts, and he heard about it from an old friend. And when we went, there wasn't that many vendors. I think there were about 20 vendors. I wasn't particularly interested in that because I love more like artsy kind of things, and this was obviously I bought this on Wish and I want to make money off of it. At least it kind of looked that way. So we only bought one item, and it was like, I'm okay not going again, that kind of feeling. I also felt so uncomfortable because I was the only one wearing a mask. There were people eating and talking and like, shaking hands and all that, and I was so scared that I don't think we even spent 20 minutes there, because after me having surgery and my body still being so weak, there's no way I want to get in a particular situation like that. So Phil, like I told him that I appreciated the surprise. I thought that it was so sweet of him to think of me that way, but I didn't want to return, and he understood. And he said, yeah, that he was nervous for me as well because he had his shots, but I haven't. So I'm waiting to go to my doctor's in the next week or two to see if I could be like, added to the list. But anyhow, so, and the houses that we looked at, I don't know what the deal is, but most people, I was surprised with a lot of the people that were flipping homes, because it felt like they ended up doing a lot of the updating to their taste, not like a neutral, taste. And there was a particular house that we went to, and the colors and the backsplash was making me nauseous. Isn't that horrible? But anyway, so we're gonna keep looking, and we're excited. I have always believed that, you can learn from the things that you feel passionate about, and I think it's advisable, if possible and when possible, to be able to have different sources of income. Like for example, when I think about Becadilla Plants, you know, she has her full-time job, she has her YouTube channel, she has her De La Tank soil, and now a book. So that's right there, 4 different types of income coming in, and I think that's brilliant. And I tend to be the same way when I can. Like for example, I absolutely love antiques. And before my health wasn't the best, I had my full-time job, and at the same time, I was an antique dealer in the area, and I would make extra income that way, and then which helps. And then now I want to be able to do, you know, plants on the side, because I last year, well 2 years ago now, when I began my plant journey, it was really it was during a really rough patch in my life. And you know, just to put it lightly. And when I did that, I was not I didn't know how to find relief in the way that I was feeling. I didn't know how to, you know, battle anxiety, things like that. And Phil actually began to do gardening and bringing plants into the house that were just bringing him so much peace and joy. And all of these roots are bad. Like this has major dryness of the roots. I did not water this enough. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. So this is gonna enjoy a different soil, because everything right here is so barky. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad when I make a mistake like this. But, well, I didn't do the soil. I bought it like that. But still, I should have checked sooner when I saw that it was just taking forever for it to get better. Oh my gosh, these are horrible roots. These are like horrible roots. Look at this. They're dry. I underwater the hell out of this. I tend to, when plants like sansevierias, well now dracaenas, are in plastic containers, I tend to water honestly every 3 weeks to a month. But I need to recheck my med-death, because obviously this wasn't healthy for this particular plant to have this better roots. So you know what, I'm gonna go wash the plants and then come right back, because I am a little bummed that this is my findings. So one moment. Hey guys, so I am back. I'm gonna have the other two first, and I ended up placing the dracaena in water so that the roots can get some water before I repot it. I'm so bummed that I underwater the plant. I know that it's better to underwater than overwater, but to me it's sad still, because the plant's still suffering. When it comes to the Orbifolia, I'm really excited, because now I get to show you guys and teach you guys regarding the watering for the plant. So this particular one, I only watered when the soil was completely dry. This one I water more regularly, and as you can see, the root system, it's completely different. And the reason behind that, it's because many people believe that it should remain constantly moist, and it shouldn't. Do you know or have you seen how CC plants have those potato-like, water reservoirs in their roots? So does the Orbifolia. So does the Maranta lemon lime. So does, many of them. And they both have them, and I want to show you because the more you water the plant, the less that it can fend for itself. I do believe that you should give it good water and keep it in a high humidity environment, but not constantly wet and moist. The soil does need to dry out completely, and same day water. And let me get up and kind of show you. So this particular one, as you can see, it has a massive one right there, an even bigger one right there. I'm trying to make it okay. And then so it has one, 2, and 3 large noticeable ones. This one has 3 as well, but they're much smaller. Maybe a 4th one. Okay, so it has this little one here, this little one here, and a little one right here. So, that tells me, yes, it's great that I don't have to worry about, underwatering the plant because it has a reservoir. So if you are struggling with the plant, try to please give it distilled water or have rainwater available. Just place your water in a container, let it sit for 24 to 48 hours, and that still will be great for the plant. But right out of the tap, it seems like it will get this crunchies and it's not gonna like it. It's very sensitive to everything that it's in the water, in the tap water. I am going to place them both together for a fuller plant, but it's gonna be in sphagnum. I'm excited. So anyhow, this is where I'm gonna do it. And I have some sphagnum that, what I do with the sphagnum before I use it, I tend to have this habit of rinsing it with very, very hot water and let it sit in hot water for a good while, and then after that I use it, because sometimes I do see bugs in sphagnum, and if there's something that I can avoid, I will avoid it. So, gosh, this is so wet. I should have dried it out before using it, but I didn't, and that's okay. I am gonna make such a mess. But anyhow, I noticed that the plants that I have placed in sphagnum that are in the prayer plant family, they definitely tend to thrive much better. These 2 orbifolias have different colors, but I'm gonna place them together because I do want a fuller plant and just kind of see what happens. And by the way, I forgot what in the world I was talking about earlier. So if I remember, I'll pick up on that. I'm like all over the place, and I'm sorry. I feel like I have been overthinking a lot lately, and I don't like it. I really don't. I think when you have a lot of changes happening in a very short amount of time, it just sometimes kind of gets to you. And I feel like that's where I'm currently at, that it's like a lot of different changes in a short amount of time. Oh my gosh, I made a mess. Like purchasing the home is an exciting thing, But the fact that there's so many people out there, I love you. Drive safe. My boy going to work. But you know, the fact that we ended up finding 2 houses that we fell in love with, and within the hour that were like under contract, it really kind of hit home for me. Um, Houses have always been something for me that it's so stressful, and I'm trying to make the best out of it. Um, Phil's a really good sport about it. He, I think, is driving our realtor insane. I don't know. She's amazing. It's a husband and wife team, and they're amazing. And I don't think they're going crazy yet, but um, feels really good about providing updates of what we have looked at, how we feel about it. It's like he wants to make sure they know every little detail, and I'm not like that. I'm on a polar opposite on that. I just figure, you know what? When we do find something that we're like wow about, then let's contact them. And in the meantime, we'll also look at the stuff that they have sent to us. And but anyway, I know that when we find a place, it's gonna be amazing, and it's gonna be something that more than likely I'll share with you guys. It's gonna be an interesting move because I'm not gonna be able to carry anything. So Phil said for me not to worry about that. That he will move everything, you know, heavy himself, and not, you know, I'm sure our kids will help out. But it just feels weird when, you know, simple things like that, you're not able to do it. And but he's a good sport, and he doesn't make me feel bad for something that I physically can't do at the moment. But anyhow, so look, this is the way that it looks. I think it looks so amazing, and I'm so glad that I did place it on sphagnum. I'm gonna give it some super thrive in a couple days, but right now I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna let it be and acclimate. But I think it's gonna be beautiful. And I do have little humidifiers that I tend to use almost on a daily basis. My house remains around 60% humidity. Like right now, my hands are dirty, but right now it's at 61%, and I don't have any humidifiers on, and I do have the AC on, so it drops in humidity. So sometimes with the humidifiers, I tend to bring it back up to like 75%. Sometimes I've done it like heavier than that, and it's just been too much, and it stresses me out when it's like really humid, because I feel like it like chokes me. I don't know. So this is interesting. I've made a huge mess. But anyhow, so that was my weekend, looking for houses. Went out to eat, and it was definitely, it's always nice when we spend time together, because we make each other laugh. We have a lot of fun together, so that was good. The beauty is we don't have to move out of here. We don't have to, you know, we're not in a hurry. We're not renters. We own our homes, so we can take our time. But anyhow, so this is the soil mix that I have. When it comes to my soil mix, I love adding this orchid potting mix. I get it either at Lowe's or Home Depot. They both have it. The only thing that I don't like about it is that the orchid bark, they are quite large, the chunks, but it's just so good for aerating the soil. And I think it's gonna be, and I did add some sphagnum to it as well. I really hope this plant bounces back. I think I'm gonna start since I'm gonna place it on a terracotta planter, I'm gonna start watering it every week or every 2 weeks. I'm gonna make sure that it's fully dry beforehand, but I want this plant to bounce back. I would feel horrible if it would die after having it for the time that I've had it. I don't know, I'm just like really into, I love all types of plants, and I love when they're so easy to care for, and this one happens to be something that obviously I almost let it die by accident, obviously, and it's still alive, it's still giving me new growth. So anyhow, do you guys happen to have one? I flippin' love it. When I got this one, this Black Moon, it was in a 6-inch, and it was $12.99. So I love the fact that you can find, Dracaenas very affordably. I also looked up some like greenhouses. Phil wants to build me a greenhouse when we move, but I ended up looking up at greenhouses as well. Guys, so a couple weeks ago I introduced you guys to Phil, and this time I'm introducing you guys to my daughter. This is Rachel.
Hi.
So she is extremely patient in my plant journey, because I do have a lot of plants around. And how do you feel about all these plants?
Next question.
Okay, so out of all the plants in the house, did you have one that you think, oh, this one, Mom bought a pretty one?
I'm trying to be particular. There's a lot.
A lot of pretty ones, or a lot of plants?
One of the one that's in the glass thing with the 2 flowers, I saw that yesterday. I like that one.
Oh, so she loves Emamba begonia. Michael's here, her boyfriend. Michael, would you please bring it over? Just open it from there and then bring it so they can see which one she likes.
The big one.
The one with the dark leaves. It is pretty. I ended up getting that one last week. This one. So this is the one that she favors. Isn't that cute? I ended up getting this one in an outing with Phil, where he surprised me and took me to a local nursery that has tons of plants, and I took a lot of photos and I did post it on my Instagram, but I didn't film a video. I was kind of like enjoying the moment. And by the way, Michael, since you were an assistant, come and say hello, come be next to Rachel. This is her boo-boo bear, Michael. Say hi. So yeah, so they so thank you guys for like showing up. And Michael, would you put this back? Thank you. So I am so happy that they wanted to like meet you guys. My daughter, she's honestly like my best friend. I can talk to her about anything, and I'm really proud of her. She's going to college this next year, and right now she's an honor student, so I am a proud mom. And anyway, going back to the potting. So this Dracaena, I'm hoping it bounces back. I'm hoping that it does well. I'm kind of sad at the way that I wasn't paying attention 100%. but we'll see. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, I don't get to spend. I used to not spend as much money on myself as I do now. Now that my kids are older, and they're more independent, I don't have to worry as much. And as long as they have everything they need, bills are paid, why not? I love plants, and thankfully I have a supportive family that love the fact that they make me happy, which I think it's important. But I do feel like I want to start being more minimalistic, not necessarily on my plants, but on the amount of things I have. My house is full of crap and stuff that I don't know why I'm saving it. I always say, oh, I can use that for later, or I can donate that, or I can find someone that could use this. And honestly, I need to stop. I grew up in a household that my mother was a minimalistic, and the house was always clean, with the exception of my room. My room was always a disaster. And I was the kind of kid that I don't think that if it was on my floor, I could not find it. And that's like, sadly, the honest truth. And I just want to get to the point where it's easier to clean, that it's easier to maintain, that it's easier to, I don't know, to just maneuver things around. Because I feel like there's a lot of books that I don't read, there's a lot of clothes that I don't use, there's a lot of shoes I don't use, and if someone else out there can use those items, then I need to let them go. Appreciate the fact that I had them, that they serve a purpose, but that they need to move on. And I think my family would also be happier if I did that. And that's something that I know that when I move with Phil would also be, I think, easier. Most people do get rid of a lot of things when they move, so I know that I will too. But I'm gonna start beforehand. And I was talking to Phil about that yesterday, because I think in my closet, I have 2 full closets. And I think I use maybe 20% of what's in my closets. And that's a shame, to say that. And I need to change that. I need to see maybe if I can do that and make things a little easier for the move as well. And just kind of prep for it. I also want to make sure that, I leave for my son as much as he needs, because I'm not going to make him, buy plates and forks and spoons and any of that. So more than likely 80% of the stuff in the house is going to stay. The dining room is going to stay, the breakfast bar chairs, the couch, there's a lot of things that are going to stay. I am taking the plants, because leaving plants with my son is just a death sentence for any plant. He doesn't care for them. He doesn't hate them, but he doesn't care for them. He's not going to care for them. So they do come with me. And hopefully there'll be something that not only I can enjoy, but that I can also spread that joy, because I do want to become, on the side, I do want to have a business where I share from my propagations, that I share from my knowledge. And I think that I'm already doing that to an extent, but to be able to do that and call it, another job for me, I think that will be huge. And I'm excited, and I'll definitely record a lot when I do that, especially if Phil ends up making the greenhouse, because I saw a lot of semi-big greenhouses for 5 to 10 grand. If you guys know of a way to get them more affordably, where you can have a good amount for resale, let me know, because I would love to share that knowledge to him and see what he says or what he could do. But if I do find, let's say, a household that has a giant either screen room or whatever in the back, I'd rather use that in the beginning. But anyhow, enough rambling. The kids need to watch TV and I have taken enough of their time. I just want to thank you guys for, watching, for supporting my channel, for subscribing, for commenting, and just for becoming my friends through the love of plants. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, bye.